It's time for a new season of Regen Rovers. Welcome to episode 111, the start of season 13. I'm excited. We didn't go up last year. We were so close to going up, reaching the playoff final. It wasn't to be in the end, but that gives me high hopes for this year that we can push on, hopefully finish in the playoffs again, or possibly automatic promotion. We shall see. We're not actually predicted to finish bottom of the table. This is a miracle in itself, isn't it? Although we still are joint bottom, really, 1,000 to 1 to win the league with Exeter City. Recently relegated Leeds, Watford and Sheffield United expected to finish as the top three teams in the Championship. But we are known for pulling off shocks, aren't we, in regards to the betting odds anyway. I don't think it's a massive shock because I think last year we did have a very good team. We had some very good players and I have tried to build on that by bringing in some decent players. So this is the squad. You'll recognise some of the loan players that have come back to Regen Rovers. First of all, Luna, who scored 25 goals last season. He is back. Big news. He was phenomenal for us. So I'm really pleased to get him back in on loan from Brighton, who would know that he was definitely not going to play for them in the Premier League because they finished 6th last year. So they've got quality players. Next up, Sakovic has agreed to come back on loan from Watford. He's a good left winger. Obviously missed a penalty in the penalty shootout of the Championship playoff final. But overall, a good season from him last year. He's very well rounded, actually. And lastly, Vitor is back on loan from Leeds, who are, of course, predicted to finish top of the Championship. They still don't need him, even in this division. So he has come back. He had a decent season for us. Nothing spectacular, but he was certainly the most solid of our defenders. Now, I've tweaked things a little bit. I actually had a lot of player instructions on for my centre-backs, and I've turned a lot of them off, and I think that has helped. But we shall see when we take on Millwall today in our first Championship game this season. I feel like we took them on, was it last year we played them first? No, I'm misremembering. I really am misremembering. I could have sworn we played Millwall at the start of the season once, but I'm obviously misremembering that. As you can see, before I introduce the transfers, let's just have a quick look at the pre-season results. So I didn't change the tactics against Eastleigh and Bolton, but the early pre-season games are all about building up match fitness, and I was sort of playing around. Well, I did change the tactics. I just was tweaking and experimenting for these two matches. But since this game against Boulogne, we scored 4 goals. Defensively, a little bit shoddy, but most of their goals were from long range, and we did dominate the statistics. In fact, we dominated most of the statistics in all of these matches, and there's some really good wins in there. We got revenge against Reading for the playoff defeat, which was fantastic. We beat Ghent from Belgium, we thrashed Blackburn 4-1, we thrashed Charlton Athletic 4-0, and beat our local fierce rivals Winchester City, who of course still play at Plumbing Park. We beat them 4-0 as well. So, you're probably wanting to know, who have we brought in this season? Well, I'm going to tell you in a second. First of all, we'll have a look at the players that have left. So, I think a few players left in the summer on a free, which don't get listed here. Let me just think. Yes, the main guy to leave is Gus Owusu. A little bit of, I've just smashed my foot on my printer, a little bit of a club icon, I suppose. He made a hell of a lot of appearances for us over the years, but I guess in recent years didn't do a huge amount for us, mainly played in Hampshire Senior Cup games, but he has finally decided to leave. I think his contract expired eventually, and he decided to leave the club. He didn't want to stay on a non-contract. Other players to leave, Sampson made quite a few appearances for the club, not masses, but he made a few. He's gone. Adam Pearce has gone. Had a couple decent years with us, but he has left the club. I decided not to renew his contract. But the players to actually go on transfers. Firstly, Wesley Honour made 114 appearances for the club. A decent 4 years with Regen Rovers, mainly as a backup left midfielder, I suppose. His appearances over the years did get fewer, as you can see, and his average ratings were average. He had a decent first season with us in League 2, but the step up to League 1 and the Championship was just too much for him. He is going to be playing in the League 1 though with Luton Town. And I think that's a decent fee for him, to be honest. Next up, Charlie Blackman. He picked up 4 red cards last season, and that is the main reason why I wanted to get rid of him. His discipline was just terrible. He did actually play fairly well apart from the red cards. But yeah, I've decided to let him go to Bristol City. We made a little bit of a profit there. We signed him for 37.5, sold him for 45k. And lastly, third choice goalkeeper. You probably don't even know Byron Turner. We signed him last summer. He has gone out on loan to Hythe. He went out on loan last year as well. Now coming into Regen Rovers, the first transfer, we've been kicked in the balls by Brexit. We rarely have. Bjorn Angel, or Angel, probably Angel. A German right back, 18 years old. He looks fantastic for us. He really does. He's an upgrade on Passmore. And I actually couldn't get him at the first attempt because he had to be at least earning, I think, £3,300 or something for him to get a work permit to come to the UK, because Brexit has had an impact on transfers from within Europe. We've had a pretty hard Brexit in this universe, I must say. Boris Johnson or Nigel Farage, they've got their way. And Bjorn Angel had to have a certain contract for us to sign him. So that was all agreed. And I thought, great, we've got a really good player on loan from Dortmund. However, he is still ineligible because apparently you have, in this universe, if you're from Europe, if you're on loan with this sort of work permit in Europe, you have to be earning, where is it? I'm just trying to work out where. Oh yeah, registration. You have to be earning £8,000 a week to be able to play. So he's come, his loan can't be terminated, and he's in limbo because I can't play him. I might be able to play him in League Cup matches. He can probably play for the under-23s, I'm not entirely sure. But he's not allowed to play in the first team in championship matches, that's for sure. He might not be allowed to play any matches, I don't know. And it's really irritating because if I'd known this, I wouldn't have signed him, of course. And now I'm going to have to look out for another right back to come in because I can't play Bjorn Angel, and it's really annoying because he's a good player. So Passmore's going to have to play today because he's my only option at right back now. Hoare from last year, I didn't re-sign him. So that was a pretty awful thing to notice just as we were about to take on Mill, because he could play the friendlies. He was allowed to. If he could play, I don't get it. Anyway, that's all over. Brexit has kicked us in the balls. Ian Henry was the next player to come in now. He was coming in as our backup left back. By the way, keep an eye on these players because at the end I will ask you who's your favourite, who you think's going to make the biggest impact. He's an experienced player. He's 27 years old. He's come from Northampton Town, and he has replaced Blackman essentially. Chris Potter, who we had on loan last year, has left the club. He's not come back on loan. We have signed this chap as our first choice left back, another German, but he's from Brighton. So he's able to play for us, I think. Kay Seidel, well, I was able to register him anyway. Kay Seidel, unfortunately, he's picked up a rib injury, broken rib, only a week or two ago, just before the season started, which is a bit of a blow, because he's a quality player. So looking forward to him playing for us. Look at those physicals, insane. I'll get up and down that left-hand side beautifully, I think, but we're going to have to play Ian Henry today. Next up, Matteo Alexander, but I'm just going to call him Matteo. I like that. We've got Vitor and Matteo at the back. This is our record transfer. He's a French 20-year-old centre-back, got a bit of potential. He played in Ligue 2. He's played in Ligue 2 the last 3 seasons. Very good average rating in the second tier of French football in the last 2 seasons. I like the look of this chap. We've signed him for over £500,000. He's on a decent contract, 8k a week. I think it's the second highest contract at the club. But I think he can make a difference in our back line. I hope he can, because we really need to sort out our defence. Next up is a backup striker, £16,000. Bit of a bargain, coming from the National League South. So it's a real punt. He had a good season last year in that division. 15 goals in 30 games in all competitions. 15 goals in the league. 15 goals in 23 starts and 1 sub-appearance. He started at Man United, went to Norwich on a free, Maidstone on a free. It really is a gamble, but I don't think it's much of a gamble because he's on low wages, £3,500 a week, only £16,000 to bring him in, and I quite like the look of him. He's better than Ryan Curtis, according to my assistant. He's not that much below Mark Ball, really. So I think he's a great option to have coming off the bench. He's only 22 as well, so he could still improve. He's a bit like a Jamie Vardy type player, I think. Someone who was in the non-league, scored goals, and we've just taken a bit of a gamble on him. Next up, player in on a free. I know I'm rambling a bit. I always ramble with these transfers, but I like to introduce the players properly. Mark Doran, a Scottish left winger. We've got a bit of a multicultural side to Regen Rovers now. For many years, it was very British based, English based in fact, but we've got lots of other players now, and this guy is Scottish. He's been around a bit, hasn't he? Looking at that, he's been on loan at Bournemouth and Port Vale in the last couple of years. He really is just a backup for Tasakovic. I didn't want to bring someone in that cost huge amounts of money, so I brought in a free player. He's earning a lot of money, 6k a week. I could have brought in there was another option, and he would have been far less wages, but I think this chap was just a bit better, and he also has a long throw on him, which I think is a little bit different. It adds a new weapon to our arsenal. Next up, I wanted to bulk up the midfield, and this chap I think will probably be a backup to start with. Michael Delfonso, an English 21-year-old. He's come in on a £135,000 from Birmingham. He's been out on loan at 4 different clubs over the last 4 seasons, as you can see. Not as good a season last year in League 2 compared to the previous season in League 1. So he actually dropped off last year. But at Oldham, a couple of seasons ago, he was good, and I think he's a good player because he's got 16 passing. There's some good mentals, physicals there. I like the look of him. But the next chap is the best one, I think. Possibly the best transfer. I'll leave that up to you. Might be Matteo. Kevin Ramirez. I just love the fact that he's called Ramirez. Lovely Spanish sounding name, and then his first name is Kevin. Hilarious. I love it. I love it. The name Kevin. Shout out to any Kevins out there. Great name. It's just so random sounding. Anyway, he's been playing for the Sevilla B team, I suppose, for many years. He's done okay. Nothing spectacular. He's 26, but this is his time to shine. He's reached his prime. He needs to be playing proper football, not for Sevilla B team. He needs to be playing in the English Championship. He's got some good attributes in there. He's going to be, I guess, a deep line playmaker in our system, which I'll just show you now. Flanagan, I'm going to be playing as a box-to-box midfielder. This is what I'm going to try anyway to start with. And Ramirez alongside him as a deep line playmaker. He is right-footed, but he'll be playing on that left-hand side anyway. What I have changed, we've gone for balanced mentality. Now, I'm going to be focusing down the wings. We're playing with an attacking width as well. I want to get the wingers involved. Cochrane to Sakovic. Cochrane's going to be our first choice ahead of Rutherford to start with. I think Cochrane's the better option. He's only 20. He's got potential. I want to try and improve this lad because he is a good player. I didn't play him enough last year. We're keeping with the 2 advanced forwards. We're keeping with the same sort of defence, but I have taken... There were quite a few instructions on these guys, and I've just altered them a bit. That's what we're going with. I think if I tweak them, we can just about get something from this defence. It's a right old blow that Bjorn Angel can't play. I'm going to look out for another right back, and I'll probably bring one in on loan because although we can only play 5 loan players, of course I can't play Angel, so I can bring in a 6th loan player and he can be the option. And I'll be looking forward to Kai Sadel coming back as well. I might just call him K because I'm not sure how to pronounce that last name. Just go with the first name. Right, question of the day. It's kind of 2 questions actually. And one of them is asking you to ask me a question, if that makes sense. But the first one is, looking at those new signings, who's going to make the biggest impact? Who do you like the look of the most? Let me know in the comment section below. Whilst you're at it, you can ask me any question you like, because I'm going to be bringing back Ask the Manager. I've not done an Ask the Manager for ages. But you can ask me anything. You can ask me my favourite type of fish, if you like. I'm sure someone will ask me that question now, and I'll have to think about it, because I like fish. There's some good fish out there, I must say. Let's have a look at the first team as a whole then, just to remind you. So this is the team. I think we've got some decent strength in depth there. We've still got Perry Miles in the first team, but I have actually dropped a go to the under-23s now, along with Fawkes, along with our youngster Thomas van den Buys. Other youngsters include Dylan Davies, who I don't think is going to develop. He's 19 now. Serenity's the one player that maybe I should play in some cup games this season, because he's got real potential, he does. But we need to try and get the best out of him. Ray Rigg as well is still here. And of course, David Okora. He's going to be our backup goalkeeper this year again. What a legend. He is now only vice-captain though. Mark Ball has officially taken over from him as the captain of the club. Under 18s team still fairly small. I don't really sign enough players, to be honest, but we don't have particularly good options coming through. The facilities are being improved at the moment. Training facilities have been What? What's happened here? Oh, here it is. This is the one. First of the first and first of the first for both youth and training facilities. I feel like we do need to improve the stadium, expand the stadium. I'm thinking if we can get it done before the Premier League, then we're not suddenly going to have this massive bill when we get to the Premier League. I'm going to go for that. I thought we were filling out the stadium, so okay, we're not going to expand it for the time being, unfortunately. So that puts to bed my idea. Mark Ball is now officially a club legend. Boom! Big news. Myself and Mark Ball share the accolade with these old legends from the other universe, of course. Marcus Higgins and Assini are still icons, and Agu, his favourite person, Assini, has found a club. I'm pleased for him. He's moved to Tunbridge Wells in the National League South, so that's all right. He's playing at a fairly decent level, so I'm very pleased for him, in fact. Let's compare the team then. Let's compare our players with the rest of the league. I always like to look at this at the start of the season. I'll just turn my face off so we can see everything properly. We've still got the youngest average age in the league, I think, 23. Average age 25 overall. Our youngest player can't even play. So annoying. Let's compare then all the positions. So the worst work rate in the league, which surprises me, but we're still pretty high for aggression. That's the way we are. Goalkeeper wise, we've got the worst one-on-ones and throwing, but remember Okoro is probably bringing this down a bit. We don't, on paper, we don't have the best goalkeepers, but Bayliss and Okoro have both been stupendous, haven't they? Bayliss last season, of course, Okoro for many years before that. I was unable to do any testimonials in the summer. I was hoping I could give Okoro one, but maybe I'll have to wait till next year to give him a testimonial. Also didn't give me the option for Fawkes or Ray Rigg, who've been here absolute centuries it seems, but I wasn't able to do anything for them either. I'll just scroll through as I ramble away. Physically not the best, mentally not bad actually. There's some decent ones there. Oh, aggression, of course, leadership's fairly high, and technically not too bad. On paper we certainly don't have a team that should be competing at the top of the championship, but we're going to give it our best shot, and we're going to start off our season against Millwall. Let's have a look at the past meetings to see how we've got on against them. We've only played them 4 times. We've won 2, drawn 1 and lost 1, but we actually have the minus goal difference there after a 4-0 defeat in our first ever game against them in League 1. Maybe it was League 1 that we played them on the first day of the season, although I don't know, it can't be right, because I don't know why I feel like I played Millwall before on the first day of the season. It's like a deja vu moment. Maybe it's from a previous series. Anyway, should we get on with this? This is the journey that Millwall have made down to Plumbing Park. Then for those interested, it would take 23 hours and 14 minutes to walk it. Not too bad actually. We're going with the 4-4-2 that served as well last year. Millwall going with a 4-2-3-1. We've struggled a little bit against this formation in the past. We'll just have a quick look at the Millwall team, and then I will just reintroduce you to the starting lineup of our team for those of you that might need a reminder, maybe you haven't watched recently. So Bayliss is our number 1 goalkeeper. He's an eccentric lad. We love him though. Passmore's having to play at right back because of the unfortunate incident with Angel. He's only 21 still, by the way. He's been here, it seems like he's been here forever. Vitor, 21-year-old Brazilian centre-back, playing alongside our 20-year-old Matteo. We've got a very young defence. Apart from Ian Henry, he's experienced. He's 27. But when Kay comes back in, when he's recovered from his rib injury, he's young as well. Stuart Cochrane, only 20 years old on the right. Flanagan, 24 years old. Good central midfielder. He's quite versatile in that role. Kevin Ramirez, experienced in Spain in sort of the second... Is that the second tier or the third tier? I don't actually know. And Tusakovic playing on the left. He's a quality Croatian, isn't he? I like him. He's only 22 as well. Mark Ball is 27 years old now. He's going to be 28 soon, in a couple months. But he is a legend. He's officially a legend of the club, playing alongside Luna the Tuna, our Spanish striker on loan from Brighton, hoping to pick up where he left off last season. Let's do this. Come on. Let's get underway with a win at home at Plumbing Park against Millwall. Boom. We had a good pre-season. Out we walk onto that pitch. We played all our matches at home. We've never been on tours. I was going to go on a tour last year and then it got cancelled for some reason. But I feel I just quite like playing at Plumbing Park, just trying to get as much money in as possible still at this stage. But perhaps next season, next pre-season, we'll go on a tour somewhere. Go to a country outside of England, outside of the UK, as Millwall smash that well over the bar. Oh, got some jelly babies today. Exciting times. Apparently you can win something. Wireless speakers. Well, this is boring, isn't it? Come on, lads. Wait, let's go attacking. A few minutes till half time. Ramirez did well there, and Flanagan steps in to find Mark Ball, and he's got Luna ahead of him, but he's running at the back line, feeds it through to Luna. Luna out wide to Sakovic. Not a great ball, but it's crossed in. Flanagan hits it 1-0. Sakovic somehow dug out a decent cross there that caused problems to the Millwall defence, and Howard Flanagan smashes it home. This is a pretty awful pass from Luna though. What is that? But Sakovic does remarkably well, I must say. That's whipped in with pace, and Flanagan smashed it through the keeper's arms. Well, that's good. We'll go back to balanced. Not the most exciting start to life in our third season in the Championship, but we're 1-0 up, and that's all I can ask for at this stage, I think. Maybe Luna put it really far out wide, because I've been telling us to have wide attacking width, focus down the wings. It's been working in pre-season. We're not going quite as direct now. We're going with a more standard approach, trying to play it around a little bit. Here's the first highlight of the second half in front of the Regen Rovers Ultras in that flame pit. Of course, we have the Okoro Roar. Stand over this side these days, don't we? And Bayliss is currently playing with the Okoro Roar behind him, although it does house the away fans. Bayliss knocks that long, looking for Mark Ball. He's never going to win that header, is he? Here comes Millwall. Richardson into Doyle. This is an opportunity. We're not closing down particularly well. Not great defending, but Bayliss saves it. It's an awful miss from their left winger, though. Bit of a let-off there for our defence. We just let them wander through. Hoping Matteo and Vitor can be a good partnership for us this season. Gregor Bilbo, he's still here. Hope you haven't forgotten about him. Didn't play a massive part in the second half of last season, but he's going to come on for Ramirez. Has a sort of average start, hasn't he? Here's to Sakovic. Knocking it long for Mark Ball, our new captain. Here he goes. Mark Ball into Cochrane. Cochrane crosses to Sakovic. Oh, what happened there? Stopped by the keeper, but it just went flying like a ping pong ball. Wow, this has not been the most exciting game in the world. If we can get a second, I'll be far more comfortable. Here's Cochrane running at the I love the intensity from him there. Here's Luna into Mark Ball. It was too close to the keeper. Tipped wide. Changed the corner routines on the right hand side. Still on the left hand side, we're still going short. Right hand side, crossing it into the danger zone. Mark Ball. We've won another corner there. Crossed in, headed away. Vitor after it. Vitor back to Sakovic. Crosses it, headed away again. Flanagan after it this time to Vitor, and that's the end of that highlight. I'm going to bring on our new signing, Andy Oliver, and also Mark Doran on the left hand side for Sakovic. Shouted some encouragement. They've got frustrated at me encouraging them. We've won another corner. Doran whips it to the near post. Vitor heads in. Oh, that's why I've changed it. It's worked. There we go. Perfect. Maybe I should do it on the other side as well, because that's a cracking corner from Doran. He's only just come on the pitch. He's picked up an assist, and Vitor with a stonking header at the near post to win us all 3 points. And suddenly that boosts the average ratings of quite a few players. We've got a chance to get a third here. Doran again, this time back post, easily caught by the goalkeeper. Maybe I should tell him to just always hit it to the near post for Vitor. It might work quite nicely this year. Passmore heads that away. There's just a few seconds to go. If we can keep a clean sheet, that would be a bonus as well for our new defence, won't it? Henry, brilliant confidence from him, just chesting that down. The refs. It's not been the most exciting first day of the season, I admit that, but it looks like we're going to get all. Well, we are going to get all 3 points here. Mark Ball wins a corner, and the ref will surely blow his whistle. We've also had 52% possession, so going standard has worked, and I'm liking this. I'm liking the new look team. I'm liking our new look style. That was good. Not amazing to watch, but we got the job done. We scored 2 goals. We scored a goal from a corner as well. That's really encouraging for my new corner routine. I'm very pleased with that indeed. So the next few games then. Oh, look at all these green dots. It's beautiful. We've got Norwich next, who've just been promoted from League One. Bristol City in the League Cup. I'll probably put out a second string team against them. Exeter City, we have to be beating them. They're expected to finish bottom, of course. Barnsley predicted to finish towards the bottom of the table. So some games here that we need to be winning. I might show some actually, because they are must-win games. If we can beat those teams, then that's a start. That's a good start. But we'll end it there. Thank you for watching a Regen Rovers episode 111. I'm going to go and enjoy some jelly babies. Now, what's your favourite colour? I quite like these light ones, the light red ones. I don't know what flavour they are. I don't remember them before. I'm just going to get them out. Oh, I've got no blackcurrant ones left. That's a bit of a blow. The yellow ones are a little bit tangy, I find. But I've got 3 yellow ones left. Look at them. I could do tactics with jelly babies, couldn't I? Lay them out 4-4-2. Anyway, we'll end it there. Thank you for watching this episode. I'll see you very soon.